Does everybody want like a $5,000 check in the mail? It sounds kind of good, right?
Hey financial warriors, welcome to the show, and I have just a little update on the whole Doge stimulus check, Doge dividend, whichever you like to call it. Now, you know, Trump has already confirmed that he wants to do it.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens.
But I want to show you some comments from Elon Musk and also how House Speaker Mike Johnson looks at the issue, because Elon and Trump now have conflicting views with the Speaker of the House, which could set off a bit of a showdown. And also we're going to talk about the likely eligibility requirements here too. So first we have what Elon just said at CPAC yesterday.
Is there traction on that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I talked to the president. He's supportive of that, and so it sounds like that's something we're going to do.
Yep.
So as we're finding savings, that's going to translate directly to reductions in tax.
So a few points. Elon has talked to the president. The president is supportive. We know that already since Trump spoke about it at a speech in Miami 2 days ago. But then we notice he's not really referring to the Doge dividend as a check anymore. He just said reductions in tax. So I don't want people to get ahead of themselves thinking all of a sudden that $5,000 checks are imminent, okay? The amount of money is also not confirmed. It probably won't be $5,000. Remember, it's 20% of the savings that Doge makes in a year. And, for it to be $5,000, they need to save $2 trillion. They need to cut $2 trillion from the budget. So I'm guessing it probably will be less than that because they probably won't find that many cuts, okay? 5,000 was just an example amount that was thrown out in the original proposal, which came from an investment fund CEO, okay, not from a member of the government or a politician or whoever. And the form in which it is delivered is not confirmed either, all right? It might just be a line on your tax return and an additional refund that you receive when you do your 2025 taxes, which would be in early 2026. But before we even get to that, this is going to have to be approved by Congress, okay? Because you're taking funds which were appropriated for one thing and you're using them on something else. And Speaker Mike Johnson in the House may stand in the way of that, okay? Here's what he said at the same CPAC conference yesterday.
The president said that a percentage of Doge savings could maybe go back to the American people in the form of what he called Doge stimulus checks, something like 20%. How would that work?
Well, look, I mean, politically, that would be great for us, you send everybody a check, but really, we have to think of it, I think, in a
That just got everybody's attention, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I just saw everybody look up all of a sudden.
I know.
Yep.
But if you think about our core principles, right, fiscal responsibility is what we do as conservatives. That's our brand. And we have a $36 trillion federal debt. We have a giant deficit that we're contending with. I think we need to pay down the credit card, right? That's what I think we need to do.
So yeah, you can hear he's reluctant to support the idea, opting instead to use those savings that Doge is finding to pay down the national debt. But the way he is speaking is pretty interesting. It almost feels like he knows that they're probably going to put this into the bill to extend the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which expires at the end of this year. And thus, he will end up probably having to vote for these Doge dividend checks. One, because the Republicans need to extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, okay? It's a big part of their agenda. It was a campaign promise. And two, who wants to be seen voting against giving people money, okay? Especially when this is money that we already paid out in taxes and it was recovered from wasteful programs, okay? It's literally our money. You want to vote to return at least some of that to the people, okay, if it's an option on the table. You can't be seen to be voting against that. Now let's briefly talk about eligibility. You may have seen articles like this. Would you get a Trump Doge dividend check? You may be shocked by who doesn't qualify. Now, do not take this to heart at all. This was probably written by a relatively junior reporter at Forbes, okay, just to drum up some viral headlines because they see people are interested. They're using the original proposal from James Fishback, who said that only net payers of income tax would receive the check. Forbes posts this chart where you can see the proportion of households that pay income tax at each income level. And this depends on your tax bracket, but also if you're single or a married filer, how many kids you have, since you get a $2,000 credit per kid. You can see at the lower income levels, many families pay no income tax whatsoever and thus would not be eligible for this Doge dividend. Then also, what about people who are retired and are on Social Security now and thus don't file taxes? This is what a lot of people asked in the comments on my last video. All I can say is don't don't believe anything you hear until you see it written in a bill, okay? I doubt they're going to leave out Social Security recipients. These people have, after all, paid taxes their whole life. Last time, when they did the COVID stimulus checks, the amount for people on Social Security was originally $600, and AARP, I think it's the American Association of Retired Persons, succeeded in getting it increased to $1,200, okay? They campaigned for that and they got it done, and that was the same amount as normal taxpayers. The COVID checks for Social Security recipients also went out automatically, okay, without them needing to file taxes. So I'm guessing they will do something similar with this round, if it happens, okay? Since they have the experience from last time. So I would say don't worry about that right now. We will know more about eligibility once we see what is actually written in the tax bill. It's probably not going to follow the proposal by James Fishback exactly. Remember, he is not a politician. He's just a businessman who suggested the idea, and he won't be drafting the bill. All right, guys, that is the update that I have on this. Leave your comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new so that you don't miss the next update, and we'll see you in the next video. Also, if you want to see my original video that goes through the complete proposal from James Fishback for the Doge dividend check, do click on this video now. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.